Welcome to the session on adding custom fields to the checkout form for payments to us. During the session, we will go and talk about how we can add new custom sections to the payments form, how we can add new fields to the checkout form, and we'll even include adding notes to the checkout form. The first part to start with is to go into Salesforce, click on the Merchant Facility tab, click on the demo facility, locate the payment form that you wish to update, click into that payment form and scroll down to the custom settings section. For this one here, I'm going to enable the first section on custom fields. So I'm going to click enable and I'm going to add some notes here. So my first custom section, and go save. From here, if I now press the credit card button to preview these changes, and what we'll notice very shortly is that we've got a new section here called My First Custom Section. What we'll now do is update the section to include our own custom field and help text. So I'll close that down for now, and we go to Setup and Maintenance. This part requires you to be a Salesforce administrator. To add a new field to the form, we go to Setup, Create, Objects. We click into the Payment TXN or Transaction object. We go to the section on Custom Fields and Relationships. We'll create a new field. For this one, we'll create a simple field called How Did You Hear About Us? So this field is going to be a picked list type field. Select Next. We'll select, give it a name. How did you hear about us? We'll make it a standard picked list, and we'll go Google search word of mouth friend web banner, etc. I then go next. I can choose to make this visible to all people within Salesforce. I can add it to the page layouts on the payment transaction object and save. I'm going to do a save in new, and I'm going to add a second form field to the form. This one is going to be some notes that I want to add to the payment form. It's going to be of type text or text area. I'll choose text area. This time it's going to be called help notes, and the key thing here is to make sure that this ends with _form_text. I need to put a default value here. That default value is the text that will actually appear. So I just put double quotes. This is some information to help the person on the checkout form know more details about what to do. Close quote. So the key thing here is ends in form_text, and that you put a default value in there with the double quotes around it. I go next. I make sure it's visible to all people. I can optionally add this to the forms. This time I'm going to not add it to my payment transaction form. So now I've added two fields. One's a picked list that says how do I hear about you. The second one is some help text. Now, because the payment forms are a public facing form, we need to go to a different area inside Salesforce to make sure that the appropriate field level security is set up. For this, I go to Setup, and then I go to Develop, then I go to Sites, and this would have previously been set up through the installation process. I click into the Sites form where my public settings are. I click on Public Settings. I locate the section called Field Level Security, and I locate the payment transaction object. I click View for those fields. I click Edit. I now locate the fields How did you hear about us? And I'll make that visible and updatable. The Help Notes text area, I'm just going to make that visible. Then I go Save. So I've now created the fields, I've now given the appropriate level permission. I'm going to go back to the forms that we had. So I go Setup, Create, Objects. I need to add these fields to the appropriate section on the checkout form. So I click into Payment Transaction. This time I'm looking for the Field Sets area, and I'm looking for the Checkout Custom Field section. You might have remembered when we went to the checkout form at the beginning, we had 6 areas that we could have custom field sections. I just updated the number 1, or the standard one. I click Edit next to the field set. I can remove the values that were previously on there, and now I can add the ones that we've just added. So the How did you hear about us and the Help text notes, and I'll just put those above that. I now go Save. If I now go back to my merchant facility and click on the public facing site URL, we scroll down the form, we'll now see that my custom section has the help text labels here, and it also has the new field that we wanted to have added. Please don't forget to check out our online user manuals for more information about this and some step-by-step guides that are documented there too.